Third game and final game of round 4. Another team going home. Falcons trying to make their way to another grand finals. G2 trying to make their way to another grand finals. They've got so much work to go, but this is the first step. Let's get into the games. It's time to play some Rocket League.
The World Championship finalists versus the London Major finalists. I'm James Bott, joined by Corelli. Corelli, it's hard to believe we're sitting here at 1-2 in the Swiss stage.
1 year ago, in the last fall major, G2 were shocked by Sandrock Gaming. This time, Team Falcons, 2/3 of that roster, trying to shock them again in a grudge match here in Swiss stage round 4.
And already the Falcons start hot. Ahmad off the assist from TRK. That didn't take much time at all.
You heard the desk. They needed Ahmad to step up, and boy did he here in the first 7 seconds, slotting it to the left side, and Team Falcons on the board first.
And I think that's an important start for the Falcons as well, Corelli, because earlier in the Swiss stage, they were really having trouble activating the TRK Ahmad duo. That is the attacking squad for Team Falcons. Khaled likes to sit in the back, make the saves, kickstart the counters, but up to this point, the Falcons have not been able to get TRK and Ahmad going.
And that's been the story here that's been developing in this tournament, and specifically for Team Falcons, is Khaled has had to play a more offensive role. He's had to push up the field so much more because the offensive output from Ahmad and TRK just hasn't been there so far.
G2 already trailing Chicago with the corner boost steal. Khaled poking it down. Chicago passes it over to JNaps. TRK patiently waiting. Chicago back down to the middle. No one there for G2, but it was given up by Team Falcons. Now JNaps going for a double. Won't make contact on the ball. TRK getting challenged by Atomic. Now Khaled in a race with Chicago, and it pinches over to the other side of the field.
You heard T-Bates talk about JNaps needing to be JNaps. What does that really mean? It means awkward shots, keeping the play alive for G2, second chances on offense. G2 right now need to get the offense going. Down by 1, here's JNaps now, just throwing it to TRK in the backfield.
JNaps, you said it, Corelli, loves to keep that attack going. Getting that second touch in the air when the defense thinks he's out of gas. Khaled, the defensive rock for Team Falcons, doesn't make contact. Atomic light touch. And Ahmad, a nice challenge, will put that downfield. JNaps with the 50. Now it's bouncing up for Chicago. Off the ceiling, oh, it doesn't touch. Chicago will have to bail out of the play, but Khaled again not able to get that ball. Ahmad right behind him, and a nice challenge again. Kicks out to TRK, who puts it towards net, but an easy save for Chicago.
Some good presence there from G2. Not converting anything. Here's JNaps into the air, running out of boost. Flip reset. Doesn't get over Ahmad. Great read. Chicago wants to keep the play alive. Falcons, very controlled defensively right now, shutting down G2 on every attempt. Here's JNaps trying to receive it. Still nothing dangerous on target coming out from G2.
Looks like JNaps, that was the right idea from Atomic. Faking it out, leaving it for Chicago. Now Chicago off the post. Rebound is blocked by TRK.
Defense holding strong for Team Falcons, but here comes another one from Atomic. It goes wide. Khaled was there to make the save. Chicago still trying to keep the attack on. A barrage of shots coming out from G2. It's not good enough to break the Falcons defense.
But there's a demo on the back line from Atomic. Chicago going for the double. Leaves it for JNaps, and JNaps is met by Ahmad. And now Khaled will be first to the ball at the midfield. Another chance from G2. Now Chicago needs support from JNaps. Atomic going for the backboard read. The backboard assault has been on for G2, but Team Falcons has closed that window every time G2's gone for it.
G2 still looking to break through. Another demo comes out. That's 6 now from G2 here in game 1. And yet still, Team Falcons finding a way to get players back. Atomic beat to the ball there. Now JNaps looking for the back wall. Ahmad, good read here. Has to get back to it. The shot down for Chicago. Tie game.
And this was a tough read for Ahmad to make. Needed to pinch that out to the corner. You see it was awkward going up. It was bouncing off his car, went back out, gave just enough space for Chicago to work with, and it's been a very physical, aggressive game for G2. They've been going for demos, but ultimately it was that lob at the backboard that finally paid off for G2.
The read was there from Ahmad, not the control. And now G2 trying to pile on here, but a 1v1 here for Ahmad. Can he get through? It's stopped by JNaps with 0 boost.
Well defended by the knapsack. Those over-the-shoulder saves can be tough, and Ahmad could tell he was ready to go for that bump if JNaps gave him that avenue. Khaled, downfield, stopped by Atomic. Chicago looking for a redirect! Oh! Chicago forced down on the redirect! Atomic with the easy cleanup!
Chicago trying to do his best Ahmad impression from last year, and he almost got this one to drop down. Atomic to tap it in, and late, G2 goes up.
Reminds you of that Sunless Khan documentary video. Ahmad hitting that same shot against G2. Perhaps that could be an omen. Will G2 get revenge from the last fall major? JNaps pops up to the corner. Ahmad, heavy first touch, but Atomic also misses. JNaps will get the hit towards the backboard and got the demo.
Less than 30 on the clock. Demos coming out for Falcons now. They're 5th here in game 1. They've got to find a way down the field. It's G2 parked on the midfield line, denying Falcons on every attempt. Here's a good touch from TRK. It's a little bit ahead of Ahmad, and G2 able to get out freely here.
JNaps controlling the ball, getting those extra touches, wasting time. G2 need to be careful not to overextend. Khaled with a nice pop-up. Ahmad with an air dribble. Leaves it. TRK! No good! G2 hold on in game 1.
A great last effort from Team Falcons, but G2 proving to be better here in game number 1. And you look back to a lot of the offense there from G2. It's just multiple chances, keeping the play alive, second chances, extended stays on the Team Falcons defensive third. And it really was the counterattack. That was the only thing we could see to come out for the Falcons offense.
I mean, if Ahmad gets that save off the backboard and pinches it out to the corner, it's a completely different game. G2 was going for the backboard. You could tell they were going for it early, and eventually it paid off. So well done to G2, and I think this is such an important game 1 for 2 teams that have been at the top. Like I said, in spring, the Falcons made it to the finals in London. The World Championship, we saw G2 make it all the way to the end. They both made it the distance, but now they find themselves battling, trying to fend off elimination, Corelli, and we see G2 manage that pressure well. Falcons, we've been casting them quite a bit this weekend. You know, they have not been able to bring that trademark offense, and we saw it kind of sputter out after that first goal.
It's looking very similar to the Gen G series we saw yesterday, where Team Falcons had pressure. They were able to counterattack quite well. They were able to keep pressure, but they couldn't put away any shots. They couldn't convert. That was the big issue here, and you are seeing Ahmad and TRK. They're able to find some space, but it just is not strong enough here against G2. They haven't had to play a lot of defense after that first part of game number 1.
You really have to believe that whoever gets this win, this might be the spark that could potentially carry them to another finals. There's so many expectations levied on both of these teams.
You heard Arsenal in his interview for Space Station Gaming talking about how much the crowd makes a difference for him. And G2, they've played in front of a lot of crowds. And here's JNaps taking a shot. Chicago wanted the bump, and TRK getting away from the bump and saving the shot. First minute upon us.
Atomic to the air. Atomic, the player that T-Bates called out. The player that made the difference for G2, helping them get that LA Major title. Now G2 gonna have...
Oh, he got it.
Oh, and it looks like it opened. JNaps picking the pocket of Team Falcons.
And it just happened so fast for G2. Falcons were pushed up, and Ahmad was right there, but caught a little bit of no man's land. Didn't expect the shot to come so quickly.
And in the rotation, you saw that it was Khaled that was up there trying to read that flip reset pass from TRK, and he was a little too soon to the play. So tough break there for Team Falcons. G2 are gonna keep on going. TRK, another infield pass attempt, but Ahmad too far out. Ahmad staying in the play. Atomic towards net. Khaled trying to pinch it up high. Chicago, a good challenge. TRK Looking for an outlet pass and doesn't find it. Back to the middle. Chicago, we saw him get a nice redirect earlier, wasn't able to get one there.
Still, you can see Atomic trying to keep the play alive and again denied. Team Falcons struggling to hold this one past the half line. Ahmad looking for options. He's got Khalid, puts the shot on target, he puts it away. Khalid sneaks it through.
I think we'll get another look at this on the replay, but Atomic looked like he had no boost. You saw him come off the sidewall, tried to half flip, and if he's got boost, maybe he'll get there in time, but doesn't matter. That shot perfectly placed. Team Falcons right back into it.
Tie ball game. Team Falcons looking to get their offense going. Atomic, he's trying to get back in time, and that one's dropped down by TRK. Team Falcons in the lead.
Oh, this is a reverse of last game. We saw the Falcons score first, G2 score 2 back-to-back, and now we're seeing the same. Team Falcons off kickoff, TRK. That is an important goal as well, with TRK struggling to get involved in the offense this week, and that might be it.
Good looks for Team Falcons. Now they got to close out the game, but Atomic gonna make them pay for the clean backboard. Back to a tie ball game.
And off kickoff again, there's the demo, and through the smoke screen, you wonder if that maybe delayed the jump from TRK just a bit.
Yeah, threw him off just enough.
That smoke screen, it makes it tough to see what exactly is happening.
And with the game being so fast, you have to react immediately. You can see what happens when you don't. The follow-up is there so quickly for G2. This one bouncing perfectly for Team Falcons. TRK wants to go high with it. G2 get back in time. Here's JNaps to the back wall. Comes off clean again. Follow-up from Atomic is wildly off target. Team Falcons trying to find a way out, but it comes back to Atomic. He puts it high once again. Looking for another follow-up, but again, Team Falcons able to slow it down. Another one coming off the back wall. Nobody guarding above the net here, and G2 are peppering it.
And just look at the boost. If you did during that whole exchange, you could see the Falcons running on fumes there. G2, they were attacking the backboard in game one. And once you can empty that boost to your opponent, the backboard becomes even juicier. Good speed from G2. They were revitalized after that kickoff goal. Team Falcons now trying to break out of their half. Ahmad going for the 50. Chicago will wrap around and take it up the wall. Atomic in the middle. Chicago, not sure what they were going for there, but now G2 on the back foot. TRK, a solo play in the air. Thought about the flip reset, didn't pan out. Now G2 with a big miss there. Ahmad going for net, and Chicago will save it.
Good cleanup by Chicago. TRK, he's got boost to work with. He's gonna take it himself, and again, G2 have got a great read on where Team Falcons want to go with the ball. Every air dribble is met perfectly by a G2 player. They have shut down the offense of Team Falcons. Even when they stayed on the offensive third, Team Falcons just have no way through G2 at the moment.
G2 has been picking up the pace, and we're seeing more demos. 5 demos so far for G2. Team Falcons, they're still in this one. Now a pinch pass attempt. It hugs the wall. Ahmad, though, does get the corner boost steal. Khalid has to make the stop. Chicago into a dribble, tried to fake it, but Khalid was having none of it.
Neither team really known for their demos. G2 averaging just over 2.5 here. They got 9 in the last game. They're up to 5 here. The physical game ramping up for G2 here against Team Falcons.
TRK on empty, backed up, let Ahmad take it. Now another demo. Ahmad, 4 demos for him. Chicago, demoed by TRK. Khalid looking for Ahmad, but that play's broken up by JNaps. Now on the counter, Chicago with control. Atomic waiting around. Khalid reading the defense at the midfield nicely, but still, Falcons trying to break out.
Chance here for Atomic. He's got options under him. Chicago pinches it over to the wall. It's popped up. G2 need another touch here. It's JNaps to be the hero. Over to Atomic. He pops it up. One more will do. Oh! It's in! JNaps will drop it down! Game 2 over to G2!
With plays like that, it's impossible to forget the knapsack. JNaps with the 0-second goal. G2, an incredible win. And now are 1 game away from knocking Team Falcons out.
I was looking at Chicago's face cam. He was really happy with that one, James, smiling at his teammate. And that was so smart from G2. They didn't rush it, even in 0-second time. They found each other, used each other across the box to then come back and spread that defense out. JNAP's just enough of a gap to find the shot.
Because how many times have we seen it? When you panic at 0 seconds, you think, oh, I've got a window. You try to force it, it gets blocked and hits the ground. You're exactly right, Corelli. JNAP's, he was the one who decided to pass that over to Atomic. Atomic, the pass off the back. I mean, you got to go high in that situation because worst case scenario, you see what happens.
Just keep it alive, and that's what he did.
And JNAP's being able to finish that play off when he had nothing in his boost tank. That just goes to show you the expertise, the experience of JNAP's, and honestly, Corelli, coming into this weekend, just looking at players like JNAP's, who are truly legendary. He joined G2 back in, I believe it was February 22nd of 2017, the same day that Otto turned 10 years old. And we got JNAP still rocking it on the main stage.
Old man J-Man still has it. Chicago, he still has it. 3 seconds into game 3, and G2 get a kickoff goal.
And a kickoff goal. This might be it for Team Falcons unless they can stabilize. They've been struggling this weekend. Their struggles seem to be continuing here. G2 smell blood in the water.
A complete reversal from the last fall major. It was Falcons who had smothered G2, sweeping them in the Swiss rounds. In round 1 last year, Team Falcons still have a chance to pull off something special here. It's going to take a reverse sweep against G2, and a G2 that's looked a lot better than they have in the previous couple days.
And they look a lot better than they did back the fall major of last year, where Sandrock was the one sweeping them, but they're not done just yet. Ahmad will tie things up.
And it's a good look for Team Falcons. They get the response early, and TRK working the back wall, getting Chicago out of their way. That's the bread and butter from Team Falcons. They've got to find the connection between Ahmad and TRK. They do here in game 3.
And we thought they might at the beginning of this game. TRK was getting involved. There we see it. And all hope is not lost yet. Team Falcons, we'll see what they're made of. Ahmad. Chicago going up for the challenge, bounces back down to the middle. JNAP's with that 50. Atomic up early, beating Ahmad to that ball. Key win there, and a second effort by Atomic. We see JNAP with the demo, and Chicago has a wide open net.
They're removing the players off the field. We talked about the physical game earlier, how it's improved for G2 in this tournament alone, and it pays off right there. The demo on Khaled opens up the net, and G2 back in the lead.
And what a series JNAP's is having. Facilitating and scoring that 0-second goal to win in game 2. That demo on Khaled to free up that back line. G2, they're coming alive. And that spells bad news for Team Falcons.
That's been the job for JNAP's. Keep the play alive, keep it awkward on the opposition's half. He's done that for at least 2 years in this iteration of G2. And now JNAP's comes again. He is having himself a series, James.
Oh, JNAP's. Khaled tries to clear it, but you know what? JNAP's is too good at the double taps. Off the ceiling, off the wall, doesn't matter. JNAP's has that in his back pocket.
Take a look over at Staffview. Even he's impressed. Looking over on the G2 boys, 3:30 on the clock, up by 2. And they are pressing on. They're not letting up against Falcons, who have struggled defensively against this G2 offense. Another one drops, a hat trick for Chicago.
Atomic getting a buff there as well. Atomic has been annoying for Team Falcons to deal with. And now we see a 3-goal lead. Corelli, we are not even 2 minutes into this game. This could be it for Team Falcons.
They still have a lot of time. We've seen what they can do. Here's TRK working his magic, and just like that, a response for Team Falcons.
And that stops the bleeding. With so much time left on the clock, it was so important for Falcons to get one there. And that play, I mean, that was a clean flip reset. Oh, yeah. And G2 is waiting for him to use it, but TRK reading the defense nicely, not panicking, and being able to make that play. That is great composure from Team Falcons.
And that's why it's been so important for G2 to have such early challenges as we've seen through 2 games. When you give the space over to TRK, he will shred a defense by himself. He is not afraid to take on 2 defenders. And now 3 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time here for Falcons. Not panic mode quite yet. Working on another one here as Chicago is demoed on his clear.
And that was such an important challenge win from JNaps. Trying to clear it out. Chicago up to JNaps, who barely missed it.
This ball kind of given away by Khaled. He didn't have options downfield. Team Falcons trying to wrap back around here, but there's no one there to follow up, and G2 will take advantage. Out there on the back wall to get a second touch. There's still no control here for Falcons.
Chicago get that as cleanly up in the air as he was hoping for, but TRK will take over. Atomic back to the middle. Potential shot opportunity. TRK, we've seen him work wonders before now, trying to get that ball out to the middle. Ahmad, late flip going for the 50, and Atomic read the play.
Chicago got the demo on Khaled. He was the second man there, was supposed to crash the net, and he took him away. G2 on and off the ball, defensively, making it tough for Falcons to break through. Ahmad again, poking it free, but right back into the hands of G2.
A nice play there, Atomic finding Chicago, Chicago finding JNaps. TRK, gonna redirect this to the corner, and it's boomed back downfield. G2 trying to melt that time off the clock. And there's a pitch to catch Chicago out! And now the Falcons are within 1!
And just when they needed it most, TRK tried to keep a hold of this one, and Khaled comes in. That's a perfectly executed pinch. And of course, the last man at G2 is not going to expect that.
Oh my, that pinch was something else. Team Falcons. Corelli, I'll be honest, I thought it was over when G2 had a 3-goal lead. Not even 2 minutes into the game. But no, Team Falcons, they're not giving up.
That was brilliant from Khaled to rotate ball side there and to pinch it with his teammate. So smart. Instead of rotating back, stayed with the play and made something of it with that pinch. Now TRK, he's got Ahmad, and Ahmad knew he was beat, didn't go.
Chicago lobbing it down. And we have just 60 seconds left to play in game 3. Team Falcons.
2.
It will all end here unless they can get one more goal in and force overtime.
Even the crowd wanted that double flip reset. Chicago, space to work with, over 1. He's got Khaled and TRK takes it away.
Atomic forcing the pour clear. That one just high from JNaps, who has been magnificent this series. Can they close it out? Can G2 defend these final 30 seconds? Chicago infield pass, but nobody was there. JNaps wasn't ready to cut that rotation short.
You see the Falcons definitely scrambling here. Now Chicago trying to put it on target. G2, they're not playing back. They are pushing up. Team Falcons cannot break out.
Last chance for Team Falcons. Khaled keeps the ball in play. Big boom up. JNaps just has to make Khaled miss. Now TRK will keep it up.
No
Chicago
boost.
hits it down. And G2, sweet Team Falcons.
They return the favor from last fall major, and this time knocking out Team Falcons. Here in round 4, G2 hugs all around, fist bumps coming out, and JNaps, boy, oh boy, did he have himself a series.
18 shots to 2. Team Falcons only managed 2 shots, forced to make 16 saves.